All right, welcome back. I apologize there. It seems like we're having some connection issues, so I've restarted the stream and lowered the bit rate here to hopefully get us going smoothly here for the rest of this one. For Arendelle in the bottom half of the second inning, they went 3 up and 3 down. Nothing across there. So after 2 complete innings of play, it remains the East York Bulldogs 3 and the Arendelle Cardinals 1. We'll take a short break here. I'll be right back for the top of the third inning from day 2 action of the 2025 Ontario Men's AAA National Qualifying Tournament, with action brought to you by CABC Baseball. We'll be right back. So we're back for action here in the top of the third inning with third baseman Jacob Mahoney leading things off. He pops one up towards right field. Right fielder David Walling going to camp under that one and make the catch. And like that, there's one pitch and one out here for Andrew Mullen in the top of the third inning.
The Bears number 33, Anthony Farrell.
Always something with technology, I guess, but we're trying. That slider misses inside for ball 1 to first baseman Anthony Farrell. 0 for 1 today, grounded out to shortstop. Sounds like a lot of cheering happening over at Soulier, so we'll do some updates here after this half inning. Take a peek around at our other games, see what's going on. Pretty good looking pitch there, but called a ball just outside. So 3 balls and no strikes to count now. That pitch in there for a called strike. Still in the hitter's count here, though, for Farrah, as it currently sits with a 3-1 count. That ball popped up on the infield. It is going to stay in play. Third baseman Matt Govro gives it a look, but unable to make the catch. So another life here for Farrah. The count is now full 3-2. Again, apologies for those that were watching earlier. We did have to stop that first stream. The connection wasn't driving with our equipment, so we lowered it a little bit, and hopefully the pitcher's coming through a little bit clearer now. Full count pitch from Mullen, popped up right here behind the plate, and that's going to be back and out of play. So that ball fouled back and out of play. Another full count pitch coming. That slider just misses the inside corner. So Farrah makes his way down to first with a 1-out walk.
Josh Grissom.
So catcher Josh Grissom going to step in now. Grissom 1 for 1 today with an RBI single in his first at bat. He's also scored 1 of 3 runs for East York. They currently lead this game now 3-1. Slider going to find the outside corner for strike 1. Another pretty good looking pitch though. That one just misses for ball one. Time called here at the plate. Again, for those watching, we will get to some updates here in a few minutes. That pitch blocked up there by the catcher, Mabley. Diana, thanks for checking in. Glad to see you watching the tournament. Dan, we're going to get to some updates after this half inning, buddy. We got you covered. Pitch from Mullen, hit on the ground to shortstop. Pitt Murray-Smith going to take it himself on to first. Picked up by DeWolf. That is a 6-3 unassisted double play. And that's all for East York here in the top half of the third inning.
For East York in their third inning, the right.
So for East York, no runs on no hits, no Erindale errors, and nobody left on base. The score after 2.5 innings of play here from Ronald Cullen Stadium, it is the East York Bulldogs 3 and the Erindale Cardinals 1. As promised, we are going to get to a few updates from the other games that are happening right now. Over at Soulier Field, it is the Waterloo Tigers 3 and the Windsor Athletics 1 as they play in the top of the third inning. Out at Woodsley Park, the Thornhill Reds and Burlington Brants are currently tied 1-1 as they play in the bottom of the second inning out there. In our last game happening right now out at Lacasse Park in Tecumseh, it is the Ilderton Riverhawks leading the Oakville A's by a score of 2-1 as they play in the bottom of the third inning. So we'll continue to keep an eye on those games as we go, keeping everyone in the loop here. So we'll take a short break here while the pitcher warms up. We'll be right back for action in the bottom of the third inning from the 2025 Men's AAA National Qualifying Tournament here in Windsor, with action brought to you by CABC Baseball. We'll be right back. So welcome back to action here. Bottom of the third inning from Cullen Stadium between the East York Bulldogs and the Erindale Cardinals in one of 4 elimination games being played this morning. First pitch from right-hander Patrick Stazishan. Swung through and missed for strike 1. So the 4 games being played right now, the losers of these games will be eliminated from contention this year, unfortunately. So again, we'll keep an eye on those games. We just gave some updates there. So that pitch misses up for a ball. Again, in case you missed those updates, right now at Soulier Field, 3-0 Waterloo over the Windsor Athletics. At Woodsley Park, 1-1 between the Burlington Brants and Thornhill Reds. That slider swung through and missed for strike 2. And out at Lacasse Park, it is the Ilderton Riverhawks leading the Oakville A's by a score of 2-1 as they play in the bottom of the third. So we'll keep running out updates from those games as we get them here on our Game Changer app. If you would like to follow one of those games individually, as that pitch misses up for a ball, all you have to do is download the Game Changer app, and you have access to quite a few of the teams here, actually, because there's a lot of them using the app this year. 2-2 pitch coming to Walling. That ball belted to right field. Guintano going to make the catch. And that is out number 1 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
The batter number 6, Pip Murray Smith.
Back to the top of the order here for the Cards is shortstop Pip Murray Smith going to step in. 1 for 1 today with a single and has scored the only run for Arundel. First pitch is a fastball that runs over the outside corner for strike number 1. So no balls and 1 strike here. 1 out as we play in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 3-1 East York in this one so far. The slider fell back into the backstop for strike 2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Same spot Murray Smith was in his last at bat, but was able to battle and work himself on base. 0-2 pitch. Fastball that tails outside for ball 1. Murray Smith having an exceptional year for the Cards, leading the team in hits. Certainly been a catalyst for the top of the order for sure. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. Fastball hit over towards the Arundel dugout. So count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed. And Murray Smith down on strikes for the 2nd out of the inning.
The batter number 33, Johnny DeWolf.
So 2 outs now for Arundel in the home half of the 3rd. That's going to bring up the first baseman, John DeWolf. 0 for 1, grounding out to shortstop in his first at bat. First pitch. Slider hit on the ground towards 3rd. That's inside the line and fair. DeWolf going to make his way to 1st. He'll make his way around the bag. And that's as far as he'll get as the East York left fielder Shohei Haas gets to that one in a hurry and gets it back into the infield.
Batter number 21, Carsley Vassos.
So DeWolf able to extend the inning here for Arundel as that will bring up the second baseman, Crosley Vassos. Vassos 0 for 1 with a strikeout. 1 of 5 today so far for Sezetian. Here's the first pitch. That ball popped up on the infield. Third baseman going to make the call and will make the catch as Jacob Mahoney takes that one in. And that is all for Arundel here in the home half of the 3rd inning. So for Arundel in the home half of the 3rd, no runs, 1 hit. There were no Bulldogs errors, and Arundel leaves 1 runner on base. We are through 3 innings of play here at Ronald Cullen Stadium in Windsor, Ontario. The score remains East York 3 and the Arundel Cardinals 1. Take a short break, and we'll be right back to action here on day 2 of the 2025 Ontario Men's AAA National Qualifying Tournament, brought to you by CABC Baseball. We'll be right back. I guess while we have a second here, we'll go through a few updates, but Over at Soulier Field, the Windsor Athletics have battled back in that game. That is now tied 3-3 between them and the Waterloo Tigers. Out at Woodsley Park, no change there as they're in the top of the third inning. Thornhill Reds and Burlington Brants remain tied at 1. And at Lacasse Park, the Ilderton Riverhawks have increased their lead as they currently lead that game 3-1 now as they play in the top of the fourth inning. So, again, we'll keep an eye on those 3 games for you as we bring you our live action here between East York and Erindale. So designated hitter Cam Martin going to lead things off for the East York Bulldogs as he takes a strike from big left-hander Andrew Mullen of the Erindale Cardinals. That ball fouled out of play. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one hit on the ground towards first. The Wolf going to make the play. He'll step on the bag. And Cam Martin is down for the first out here in the top of the fourth inning.
That is number 22, Shoah Hayes.
So left fielder Shoha Haas going to step in now for the East York Bulldogs. 1-for-1. Big 2-run double back in the first inning as he takes a big looping curveball there from Mullen for strike 1. (3-1) East York here in the top of the fourth inning. That fastball just going to miss up and away for a ball. Count even now, 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That one just misses the outside corner for ball 2. Two and 1 the count. Here's the pitch. Couple of pitches that look pretty handy there, but both called a ball. So 3-1 now the count. Here's the pitch. That ball hit on the ground at first. Ooh, bad hop there as that one goes over the shoulder of John DeWolf and into right field. Tough break there as DeWolf looked poised to be able to make that play. So East York, another runner on here in this inning. A 1 out, runner on first, and that's going to bring up the right fielder, Anthony Buonato. I apologize. I know I'm saying his last name wrong here. I'm going to try and get a pronunciation on it soon. Strike 1 to Anthony, so count now. No balls and 1 strike. That ball roped. Ooh, off the first baseman. Tough play there. That ball was absolutely hit on a line. DeWolf able to knock it down at first, but unfortunately that's about all that can happen.
That is number 10, Brandon Neva.
So, pair of tough hits there against Mullen. Now have runners at first and second. For the second baseman, Brandon Neva, as he hits that ball into center field. Palmer up with it. Runner going to get the wave. Here comes the play to the plate. Cut off by the first baseman. And Shohei Haas able to slide in there, and that is an RBI single from Brandon Nieva. And the Bulldogs increase their lead here in the fourth inning to 4-1. So center fielder Alessandro Strazicki going to step in now. Only going to step off for a second, get Mabley to go through the signs here again. First pitch to Strzelecki is in there for a called strike. Runners at first and second here as that ball misses down and away. Good block there from Mabley to keep that one in front. 1-1 the count here as we play. Top of the fourth inning, 1 out. 4-1 East York in this one over Arundel. That pitch misses just up for a ball. Count now 2 balls and 1 strike. Two one pitch. A pretty good looking pitch there. Umpire says just misses the inside corner, so ball 3. 3-1 now the count. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses down. So Strzelecki going to take the walk. That will load the bases now with 1 out.
Batter number 19, Steve Andropoulos.
So bases loaded here with 1 out. And that's going to bring up the shortstop, Steve Andriopoulos. Do have a trip to the mound here from Coach John Kelb. So our pitching visit is all done. So we'll get back to action here. Andriopoulos steps into the box, ready to go. That ball hit to first base. Great diving play there at first base. On to second. They're able to get the runner there. But that's it, as Andriopoulos going to reach on the fielder's choice. But great diving play there from John the Wolf. He's able to knock that one down.
Batter number 34, Jacob Mahoney.
So 2 outs now. Runners at the corners. And third baseman Jacob Mahoney going to step in now. First pitch from Mullen finds the inside corner for strike 1. A 1 pitch. Curveball hit towards center field. That ball going to hang up, though. Center fielder Aaron Palmer able to make the catch. That's all for East York here in the top of the fourth inning. So for East York in the top of the fourth inning, they extend their lead. They get 2 runs on 3 hits. There were no Arundel errors, and the Bulldogs leave a pair of runners on base. After 3.5 innings of play here from Ronald Cullen Stadium, it is the East York Bulldogs 5 and the Arundel Cardinals 1. We'll take a short break here and get back to the action. Before we go, we will take our followers through some updates from our other games. Just across the way over at Soulier Field, they are in the top of the fourth inning. This Waterloo Tigers and Windsor Athletics stay tied 3-3 right now. Out at Woodsley Park, game there also remains tied 1-1 as they play in the bottom of the third. And then our other game that's happening this morning out at Lacasse Park in Tecumseh. They are in the top of the 5th inning now. It is the Alderton Riverhawks leading that game by a score of 3-1 over the Oakville A's. So we'll keep an eye on those games for you. Keep the updates coming as we get them to our computer. So we'll take a quick break here. We'll be right back for action in the bottom of the 4th inning. All right, welcome back. We're ready for the bottom of the fourth inning. All right, we got to erase our board here. Andrew Mullen leading things off for the Arundel Cardinals. He hits the ball on the ground at third base. Mahoney up with that one across the diamond in time to retire Mullen. He's down for the first out of the inning.
Batter's number 9, Matt Lamoureux.
So 1 pitch, 1 out here for the East York right-hander, Patrick Stazician. So that's going to bring up the left fielder, Matt Lamoureux. Lamoureux 0 for 1 with a strikeout. First pitch. Misses up and in for ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes to count here. 1 out, bottom of the fourth inning. That fastball finds the outside corner for strike 1. One ball and 1 strike. That pitch tipped into the glove of catcher Josh Gristle for strike 2.
Baby, let's go.
That ball hit up the middle, and that's going to get into center field for a single. As Matt Lamoureux makes his way down to first.
The batter's number 14, ERIN Palmer.
So a little bit of life here for the Cardinals as they look to get themselves back into this game. Currently trailing right now 5-1. That's going to bring up center fielder ERIN Palmer. Palmer 0 for 1. He flew out to right field in his first at bat. First pitch to Palmer misses for a ball, but he swings through that slider and misses for strike 1. One pitch. That one misses down for a ball. So 2 balls, 1 strike to count. Here's the pitch from Stazician. That ball roped towards right field. Right fielder makes the catch for the second out of the inning.
The batter's number 2, Matt Govro.
So 2 outs now. Third baseman Matt Govro going to make his way to the plate. Govro 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He hits that little chopper to shortstop. Andriopoulos in, takes it on the short hop across to first. He's able to make the play. And that is all for the Arundel Cardinals here in the home half of the fourth inning. So for Arundel's half of the fourth inning, no runs on 1 hit. There were no East York errors. And the Cardinals leave 1 runner on base. The score after 4 complete innings of play from Ronald Cullen Stadium, it remains the East York Bulldogs 5 and the Arundel Cardinals 1. We will take a short break as we have a new pitcher in here for Erindale, so we'll get that information for you. We continue with Day 2 coverage of the Ontario Men's AAA National Qualifying Tournament. Action brought to you by CABC Baseball. We'll be right back.
Number 45.
Some quick updates here as we check in on games that are currently happening just across the way at Soulier Field. They are in the bottom of the 4th inning now. The score there 3-3 between the Waterloo Tigers and Windsor Athletics. As we check in our game out at Woodsley Park, they are now in the top of the 4th. And that game remains tied 1-1 between Thornhill and Burlington. And our last game happening in the 10 o'clock time slot out at Lacasse Park in Tecumseh. They're in the bottom of the 5th. The Elderton Riverhawks lead that game by a score of 3-1 over Oakville as Elderton comes to bat in the bottom of the 5th inning. So we will continue to update as we get stuff coming across our channels here.
Leading off the 5th inning.
You are watching live action here right now from Ronald Cullen Stadium. Day number 2 of the Men's AAA National Qualifying Tournament. I am Dan Esty. Thank you so much for taking some time with us here on this beautiful Saturday in Windsor. The new pitcher for the Erindale Cardinals is young right-hander Noah Garner as he delivers a slider to Anthony Farah for strike 1. That pitch misses just down and in for ball 1. Evens the count now, 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Fastball missing just down for a ball. So the count now, 2 balls and 1 strike. Catcher Josh Gristle waits on deck. The DH Cam Martin due up third this inning for the Bulldogs. The pitch just misses inside for ball 3. Here's the 3-1 pitch. In on the hands, chopped to first base. DeWolf able to make the play. He's going to take it himself. He'll step on first, and Farah is down for the first out here in the top of the 5th inning.
Batter number 18, Josh Gristle.
So catcher Josh Gristle going to step in now. First pitch from Garner. Fastball that misses outside for ball 1. And full slate of games coming up here. We'll go over what we're going to have coverage of for you just after this half inning. 1-0 pitch to Gristle. Slider that misses inside for a ball. So count now 2 balls and no strikes. Good slider there. That one finds the inside corner for strike 1. And for those joining us on the stream, thank you for tuning in this morning. That ball popped up here just over by third base. Govro going to come in. Shields the sun. He makes the catch. And Gristle is down for the second out here in the top of the 5th.
Batter number 48, Cam Martin.
So 2 outs now here in the top of the 5th. That's going to bring up the designated hitter, Cam Martin. One for 2 today with a single and a run scored. In on the hands. That one hit the shallow center field. Aaron Palmer comes in. Great diving play there as he's able to pick that one up off the turf. And that's all for East York here in the top of the 5th as they go 3 up, 3 down. And we make our way now to the bottom of the 5th inning. The score here remains the East York Bulldogs 5, Erindale Cardinals 1. We'll take a short break. Be right back to day 2 action of the 2025 Ontario Men's AAA National Qualifying Tournament, brought to you by CABC Baseball. We'll be right back. All right, we're back for action here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Catcher Luke Mabley leading things off for Erindale. First pitch is a fastball that misses the outside corner for ball 1. That ball roped up the middle. Good backhand play there by the second baseman. On to first. And in time to retire Mabley at first. Good play there by the second baseman, Brandon Nieva. I apologize. We did say we were going to tell everyone the games that we're going to be covering. So we will be here at Cullen Field all day. That's the hope. Seeing what's happening here with the weather and stuff. Not rain, but just heat for my equipment. We may have to make a switch. We'll see how it goes. But we will have the 1 o'clock game here for sure, which will feature the Tecumseh Thunder and the Etobicoke Rangers. That pitch finds the zone for strike 1 to right fielder David Walling. Our 4 o'clock game here will feature the Brampton Royals with an opponent yet to be determined. And then the 8 o'clock game tonight will feature the Sarnia Brigade as they will take on either the Leaside Leafs or the Ajax Spartans in that one. So we'll try and hang out here as long as we can. Like I said, if it gets too hot and the equipment starts to get affected, we may have to make a switch. But we'll see how it goes here throughout the day. 1-1 pitch to Walling. It's a fastball that swung on and missed for strike 2. Pretty good outing so far here from right-hander Patrick Sezishin. He's pitching into the 5th inning here right now. It's 1 run on 3 hits so far. Count now 1-2 to right fielder Walling. Here's the pitch. That one swung on and missed, and Walling down on strikes for the second out of the inning.
Number 6, pick Murray Smith.
So 2 outs. We're back to the top of the order here with Pip Murray Smith at the plate. Pip 1 for 2 today with a single and a run scored. The only run of the day so far for the Cardinals. He takes a pitch outside for ball 1. We'll head back to our de facto out-of-town scoreboard here after this half inning and get some updates for you. The other 3 games happening during this time slot as that slider drops in for strike 1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That ball fouled back and out of play just to my left. That ball hit to center field. But they're going to make the catch there as Alessandro Strzycki makes the catch. And that's all for Erindale here in the bottom of the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. The score after 5 complete innings of play remains the East York Bulldogs 5 and the Erindale Cardinals 1. So shifting to our out-of-town scoreboard, bottom of the 5th inning over at Soulier Field right now. It's the Waterloo Tigers and Windsor Athletics. They remain tied 3-3 right now. Out at Woodsley Park, game there in the bottom of the 4th inning. And it remains tied there as well, 1-1 between the Thornhill Reds and the Burlington Brants. Meanwhile, at Lacasse Park in Tecumseh, the game there this morning, they're in the top of the 6th inning now with Oakville coming to bat, but Ilderton leads that game by a score of 4-1 over the A's. So we'll keep an eye on all those games for you. See what other scores are, and we'll keep updating you throughout the course of this one. All right, welcome back to Ronald Cullen Stadium for action here in the top of the 6th inning. Six, seven, eight due up here for the Bulldogs in the top half of the 6th as left fielder Shoha Haas going to lead things off against new Erindale pitcher Noah Gardner. That ball hit hard towards left center field, and that's going to get back and into the gap and roll all the way to the fence. Lamoureux up with that. Haas going to make his way into second, and that is a leadoff double for the East York Bulldogs. So pretty good day for Shoha as he has 3 hits now, including a pair of doubles. He's also scored a run and has a pair of RBIs, so leading the way offensively right now for the Bulldogs. chopped out to the pitcher. Good play there by Garner to get off the mound and make the play as he's able to retire the batter at first. Runner does advance to third. We have one out now. So one out. Second baseman Brandon Nieva now at the plate. First pitch to Nieva is a slider that misses down in the dirt for ball one. Center fielder Alessandro Strazicki waits on deck. 1-0 pitch from Garner. Fastball roped towards left field, and that's going to get past the third baseman Govero and into left field. That's an RBI single for Brandon Nieva.
The batter number 33, Alessandro Rosario.
So third hit of the day for Nieva as well, as he has a pair of RBIs to go along with that. That's going to bring up the center fielder, Alessandro Strazicki. First pitch in the dirt, blocked up there by Luke Mabley. So 6-1 now for the East York Club here in the top of the sixth. They continue to stretch out their lead here. That pitch called a ball. The count now 2-0. Slider finds the inside corner for strike one. So 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Brandon Nieva, the runner on first for the Bulldogs. Here's the pitch. This is up and in for a ball. Three and 1 the count. Leadoff man Steve Andriopoulos waits on deck. That pitch misses outside for a ball. So Strazicki makes his way to first with the walk.
Batter number 19, Steve Andropoulos.
So Steve Andriopoulos is the next announced batter, but we do have a trip to the mound here, so looks like we are going to get a pitching change here for Arundel. So we'll take a short break here, but before we do, we'll run through a series of updates here again, see what we got going on. We're in the top of the 6th inning over at Soulier Field now. The game there between the Waterloo Tigers and the Windsor Athletics remains tied 3-3. As we shift our scoreboard now to look at the game out in Woodsley. They are now in the top of the 5th with the Thornhill Reds coming to bat. That game still tied 1-1. And in our final game happening at 10 o'clock out at Lacasse Park in Tecumseh, they are now in the bottom of the 6th inning with Ilderton coming to bat, and Ilderton leads that game over Oakville by a score of 4-1. The new pitcher coming into the game here for Arundel is right-hander Easton Kirkpatrick. So we'll take a quick break as he takes his warm-up pitches, and we'll be right back to Day 2 action of the 2025 Ontario Men's AAA National Qualifying Tournament. We'll be right back. So Kirkpatrick all done with his warm-up pitches. He has the top of the order he's going to face now as he delivers a strike to leadoff man Steve Andriopoulos. That fastball going to miss outside, though, for a ball. 1-1 the count. So he looks in and gets his sign. Here's the pitch. That one misses down and in. Good block there by Mabley. The throw down to second base. Just a little bit late, so both runners going to advance there on the wild pitch. So runners on second and third now with one out. That pitch misses outside for a ball. Runs the count now to 3-1. Arundel infield pinched in here as they try and cut down the runner at the plate here if they can. Long look in by Kirkpatrick. He has his sign. Here's the pitch. That pitch going to miss outside. So the walk to Andriopoulos now loads the bases with one out. We have the third baseman, Jacob Mahoney, stepping in here for the East York Bulldogs. Reigning GTBL MVP from last year. First pitch. Fastball that finds the outside corner for strike one. So 0-1 the count. A bit of a rough day today, though, for Mahoney. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout, flyout, and a groundout. That one gets fouled off at the plate. So count now 0-2. First baseman Anthony Farrow waits on deck. Slider in on the hands, hit to third base. Govero going to come to the plate. He gets the out there. Not going to make the throw to first. Big turn there by the runner at third, Strzycki, but he's able to get back safely. So runner retired at the plate. So the Cards now have 2 outs.
The batter number 33, Anthony Farrow.
So Mahoney reaches on the fielder's choice. First pitch to Farah. That ball popped up down the left field line. It's going to be a long run, but that ball is going to land foul down in the Arundel bullpen. So the count now is 0-1. One run across here for the Bulldogs in the top of the 6th. They lead this game 6-1. Inside move, throw back. Looked like they had a chance to get the runner napping there, and that ball squirts away from the shortstop, Murray Smith, though, and into short right center field. And that will bring another run across. So the score now 7-1. Will be charged as an error to the pitcher. Ball hit hard on the ground down the right field line, but is outside the bag and foul. So the count now 0-2 on Anthony Farah. Again, coming up next year at Cullen Field, we'll have a short break, and then our 1 o'clock game will feature the Tecumseh Thunder and the Etobicoke Rangers. Good pitch there as Farah able to hold his swing. Good hard slider in on the hands, though. So that game coming up at 1 o'clock here at the stadium. Both those teams currently sit at 2-0 right now. Here's the pitch hit on the ground towards second base. Vasily Crossos up with the ball. And he makes the play at first. And that's all for East York here in the top half of the sixth inning. So for East York in their half of the sixth inning, 2 runs on 2 hits. There was one Arendelle error, and there were a pair of runners left on base. The score after 5.5 innings of play, it is the East York Bulldogs 7 and the Arendelle Cardinals 1. We'll have a quick through some updates here and see where we're at in other games before we take a break here. Top of the 7th inning over at Soulier Field. The Waterloo Tigers and Windsor Athletics, they remain tied 3-3 right now with the Tigers coming to bat. Out at Woodsley Park, game there remains tied as they're playing in the top of the 5th. 1-1 between the Thornhill Reds and the Burlington Brants. And in the final game at Lacasse Park, they're in the top of the 7th there. So last chance for the A's as they trail in that game right now, 4-1 to the Ilderton Riverhawks. So we'll keep an eye on those games as they continue to happen. We'll keep feeding you updates as we get them. And of course, we have our live game here right now that's happening between the Arendelle Cardinals and East York Bulldogs. As Cards running out of time here. We're in the bottom of the 6th. And Johnny DeWolf going to lead things off. That pitch fouled off by DeWolf, so the count now 0-1. And that pitch runs up and in. That's going to catch DeWolf in the shoulder. So he'll make his way down to first. So the Cards looking for any sort of spark they can get here now in this inning. Second baseman Crosley Vassos going to step in. First pitch swinging, and that's going to get popped up towards the third base line. And it's going to land just fouled. It's good effort there from third baseman Jacob Mahoney. Again, next game here happening at 1 o'clock here at the stadium. Will feature the Etobicoke Rangers taking on the Tecumseh Thunder. That will be an undefeated game, both teams sitting at 2-0. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That ball belted down the left field line, but foul. So the count now 0-2 to the second baseman, Crosley Vassos. Again, the Cards trying to get base runners here. They currently trail by 6. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fastball way up and out for a ball. So count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Swung on and missed by Vassos, and he is down on strikes for the first out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Good fastball there from Sezishin.
Batter number 88, Andrew Mullen.
So 1 out. That's going to bring up the designated hitter, Andrew Mullen. First pitch. Fastball that's popped up down the first base line. Farrer going to go give it a look. That's going to sail just out of play. So 1 strike the count on Mullen. Mullen started on the mound in this one. Went 4 innings. Gave up 5 runs during his time on the mound. So we're all set here as Farrer makes his way back to first. 0-1 count here on the DH Mullen. Johnny DeWolf, the runner at first, he takes his lead. Here's the pitch. That fastball up and in for a ball. So 1-1 the count. Another good fastball there from Sezishin in on the hands. Mullen able to get the bat on that one for strike 2. The ball skips back to the backstop, so DeWolf going to make his way to second. Count now 2-2 on Mullen. A wild pitch advances DeWolf. So here is the 2-2 pitch. A change-up swung on and missed by Mullen. And he is down on strikes for the second out here in the bottom of the 6th.
Batter number 9, Matt Lamoureux.
So 2 outs now for the Cards here as left fielder Matt Lamoureux going to make his way up. First pitch. Fastball hit towards left center field. That's going to get down for a single. DeWolf going to get the wave from third. Here comes the throw to the plate. Catcher going to come out and cut that one off. The throw to second. Lamoureux able to get under the tag of the second baseman. I thought that was the right call. He got the tag down, but his hands were on the base before he was able to get the tag down in time. So it's an RBI single for Matt Lamoureux. He'll advance to second on the throw to the plate. So 7-2 now. And center fielder Aaron Palmer steps in. He takes a first pitch strike from Patrick Sezishin. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Slider, that one going to find the outside corner too for strike 2. So a quick hole now for Palmer, down 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Another slider. That one going to miss up, though, for a ball. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Few messages coming in. We're going to get to some updates here after this half inning is complete. 1-2 pitch. Fastball hit up the middle. That's going to get into center field past a diving second baseman. Runner getting the wave around third. Lamoureux going to come in to score. And that's an RBI single for ERIN Palmer. The Cards throwing a little bit of life here now as they've clawed their way back into this game a little bit now as the score's 7-3. So while we have a trip to the mound here, we'll quickly go over our other three games and see what's going on. Over at the Soulier Diamond, the Waterloo Tigers still batting in the top of the 7th inning. They have pushed a run across there, so they now lead that game 4-3 over the Windsor Athletics. Out at Woodsley Park, the game between the Thornhill Reds and the Burlington Brants, that remains tied 1-1 in the bottom of the 5th inning. And then the other game happening at this 10 o'clock time slot out at Lacasse Park in Tecumseh. That game is a final score now as the Ilderton Riverhawks defeat the Oakville A's by a score of 4-1. So we'll keep an eye on those other two games that are still happening. Congratulations to Ilderton as they advance on and remain alive in this year's tournament. So that slider's going to miss inside to Arundel third baseman Matt Govro. (7-3) here as we play in the bottom of the 6th inning. The East York Bulldogs lead the Arundel Cardinals. That fastball going to find the outside corner for strike one. A couple of runs across here for the Cards in the bottom half of this 6th. Still trailed by 4. That ball laced by Govro, but it goes foul down the right field line. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now the count. Hearing lots of yelling and screaming from over at Soulier, so we'll check in on that game here after this half inning. I believe it looks like Waterloo still batting over there as that pitch misses the outside corner for a ball. 2-2 now the count. Two-two pitch, fastball swung on and missed. Govro down on strikes. And that's all for the Cards here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. So for Arundel in the home half of the 6th inning, they get 2 runs on 2 hits. There were no East York errors and 1 runner left on base. The score after 6 complete innings of play here at Ronald Cullen Stadium, it is the East York Bulldogs 7 and the Arundel Cardinals 3. We're going to have a quick peek at the 2 games that are still alive here in this 10 o'clock time slot. They are in the bottom of the 7th now over at Soulier Field with the Windsor Athletics batting. They've had their first 2 batters reach. It is 4-3 for Waterloo in that game right now, but runners at first and second and nobody out right now for the A's as they bat here in the home half of the 7th. The other game happening at Woodsley. They're in the top of the 6th inning now. Thornhill coming to bat, and that game remains tied 1-1. So we'll keep checking into those two games for you, see how they're making out. As long as we're on the air, we'll keep everyone in the loop. So catcher Josh Gristle going to lead things off here for the East York Bulldogs in the top half of the 2nd inning against Easton Kirkpatrick. That pitch misses down for a ball, 2-0. Kirkpatrick, the 3rd pitcher today for the Cards. He took over last inning from Noah Garner. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Gristle. Pitch misses outside for a ball. Again, next action coming up here at Cullen Stadium will feature the Tecumseh Thunder and Etobicoke Rangers. That pitch misses outside for a ball. So leadoff walk for Josh Gristle.
Batter number 48, Cam Martin.
So DH Cam Martin going to step in now for the Bulldogs. He takes the first pitch fastball in the inside corner from Easton Kirkpatrick. That pitch also a strike. So 0-2 now the count. Seems to be a lot of magic over at Soulier Field so far after a pretty good game there last night between Milton and Sarnia. The Windsor Athletics have battled back to tie that game over there 4-4 now. They're still batting in the the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs. Looks like they have a runner on second with Chris Rinaldi Ross coming to bat. That ball foul back to the backstop, so the count here remains 0-2 on the DH Martin. That ball popped up towards right field. Walling going to make an effort and lay out for that one, but unfortunately unable to make the catch. So the runner will advance to second. So the the runners now at first and second. Probably the hottest batter on the day for the Bulldogs, Shoha Haas, steps in for the Bulldogs as he fouls that one back and out of play. 3 for 3 today with a pair of doubles. Scored twice. He's also got 2 RBIs. Fouls that first one off for strike 1. Good tailing fastball there from Kirkpatrick as that one comes back over the inside corner for strike 2. Good change up there, but Haas able to hold his swing. So the count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nobody out here in the top of the 7th. Seven to 3 East York over Arundel right now. That fastball going to get fouled back and out of play as well. So count remains 1-2. That pitch just missing the outside corner for a ball. 2-2 pitch. That one chopped out in front of the plate. That's going to get over the head of the pitcher. Gavro on to first. And he's able to beat the throw to first, though. So that little infield chopper is the fourth hit of the day for Shoha Haas.
Batter number 12, Anthony Bavito.
So the bases are loaded now with nobody out. So the end of the seventh inning over at Soulier Field, there's an intentional walk to Chris Rinaldi Ross and then a big strikeout from Adam Robertson. And for the second game in a row at Soulier, they are off to extra innings. They are currently in the top of the eighth inning right now, tied 4-4 between the Waterloo Tigers and the Windsor Athletics. So we'll keep an eye on that game. Looking at the other game out at Woodsley Park right now, that one remains tied 1-1 between the Burlington Brants and the Thornhill Reds as that fastball in at the knees to Bointano for strike one. That pitch just misses the outside corner for a ball. 1-1 the count. Infield in again here for the Erindale club. They try and pinch the runner at the plate. They do have some action in the bullpen as Declan Sweeney has started to throw down there. That ball belted towards right field. Going to be a long run back for Walling, and that ball's going to get down just behind him. So one runner going to come in for sure. And the runner at third base, Cam Martin, going to get the stop sign there from Sal Stabil. So the bases are going to remain loaded here, but another run does come across. That increases the lead now to 8-3.
Batter number 10, Brandon Navia.
So it looks like we are going to get a trip to the mound here by Coach John Kelb. I think we are going to get a pitching change. So Declan Sweeney going to make his way into the game here for the Cardinals. So we'll take a quick break here. But before we do, as I'm getting messages to do so, I will very quickly check these two games again. Still in the top of the 8 with 2 outs over at Soulier Field. That game stays tied 4-4 right now. Sean Skorupski at the plate for the Tigers. And the other game happening out at Reg Chevalier Field at Woodsley Park. Still in the top of the 6th. Pair of outs for the Thornhill Reds as they bat in that inning.